Have you ever wondered what was going through the mind of the Cloverfield monster? What its homeworld was like? People say that it was an infant. Where was its mother? Did it have a family? How did it get here? How did it feel as it was going through the events that took place in the Cloverfield movie? Well, that's what this POV is for. If you enjoy fanfiction stories or POV stories like this, then check out our playlist that we have that's chock full of them. These POV stories are based on theory, they're not actually official. It's just what I think the monsters might have been going through if we could hear what they were thinking or saying in those moments or the moments leading up to them. Without further ado, here is the Cloverfield story. The land had just completed its century-long drought. Every creature returned to their former habitats to soak up the much-needed hydration. Many animals took to migrating to the other side of the planet in order to survive the dry season, but not this mother. Although her species is known to be a deep-sea monster of sorts, nothing could be farther from the truth. Her species is merely extremely adept at conforming to whatever environment she happens to live in at the time. If there is a period of extreme heat, or extreme cold, or little food, or little water, she is built to survive. She spent her last few years caring for her 4 offspring. Colorless was the youngest, but the most adventurous, a much smaller copy of his mother. "This water feels colder than usual," he said, dipping his toe into a liquid more viscous than what we are used to when we speak of water. "Wait, let me feel it." Yeah, you're right. It does feel colder. Well, who cares?" uttered his older brother, Morgron, a larger and darker version of himself. The 2 other females joined them at the riverbank, and without fear, they dove in. They laughed joyously as they turned around after they surfaced and looked at their brothers. "What's the matter? Not coming in? Are you scared?" said Lippi, the younger female, the more adventurous and ornery female. "Of course I'm not scared. Come on, let's go." Colorless led the charge, and Morgron followed. All the siblings dove through the water all the way to the shallow bottom to eat the reeds that were growing up from the scintillating riverbed. Their little whip-like limbs operated as fans to propel them through the viscous water. Morgron watched for a minute, bobbing on the surface as his siblings played. Lippi and theorize all piled up on Colorless and tried to push him below the water. They all laughed joyously, as little children usually do. Morgron looked towards the mountain, the Red Mountains as they were called. Every Norwegian has stayed clear of those mountains. Theorize took a pause in her play to look over at her brother. "Morgron, come on, play with us." "Yeah, you're missing out," said Colorless. Theorize, the youngest sibling and the younger female, swims up next to him and bobs her head in the water. The 2, side by side, look like night and day. Morgron, a much darker bluish color, and theorize, a lighter cream color. The brightest of the bunch was Colorless, sporting a very white color. She looked over at him and then tried to direct her gaze to where he was looking. "What are you looking at?" "Those mountains." "Don't even think about it," screamed out Lippi as she surfaced as well. She dove underneath and then tried to pull his legs down to sink him. The siblings kept forgetting that Morgron was the strongest swimmer and even more powerful diver than all 4 of them. Lippi gave up after a while and then reluctantly surfaced. She gave her brother a distasteful look and then looked towards the mountains. "You need to stop it. You know what Mother said about that already. I don't even know why you're looking." He turned around to face her. "Lippi, don't you ever wonder what's down there?" Colorless joined the group. "I do. I want to go there all the time. But it's something that we have to do when we're older, because, if we go down there and we get hurt, Mother will be very upset."
Not to mention, she'll put herself in danger trying to save us. Morgron, you know this.
Okay, but you guys never ask why they don't want us to go down there?
Mother doesn't want us to go down there, and that's all there is to it,
says Lipstick with finality as she dives again under the water, disappearing completely. Kaleido smiles and looks at his brother, and then tries to look for Lipstick. He dives under the water and finds her. Being able to fully breathe underwater, he is also able to communicate with his siblings underwater as well. All Enwegians have this ability. As a matter of fact, their survival skills are so proficient that they have the ability to communicate in any medium. Lipstick swims away, trying her best to avoid her brother Kaleido. Kaleido is faster, even though she's more agile, and he swims past her and ends up in front, facing her directly.
Kaleido, can you stop?
Yeah, but Lipstick, what if he has a point?
There is never any reason for us to disobey Mother. We've seen what happens to other offspring when they do that. Something bad happens. Do you want that to happen to us?
Yeah, but they usually go off alone. They both can hear Morgron talking. To us, if we are submerged underwater, everything on the surface sounds like a muffled tune. But for Enwegians, they can hear everything clearly. It's as though the water isn't even there, and this is a more viscous fluid than the water on Earth. Lipstick lets out a recalcitrant sigh and surfaces at the blink of an eye. Kaleido follows behind his older sister. They all bobbed in the water, just staring at the mountain for a few minutes. Lipstick rolled her eyes and then swam off in another direction. Completely miffed, Morgron turns back around to look at his sister. Why are you so afraid? This irates Lipstick, and she turns back around and splashes the group.
Why are you so disobedient? Why are you trying to go look for trouble? You know, if you guys go off to that red mountain, I'm not going with you. As a matter of fact, if you go, I'm gonna tell Mom.
Kaleido's face was that of shock. You would tell on us?
Oh yeah, with pride,
replied Lipstick. You know, the mountain's not that far off, Morgron whispers to Kaleido.
I know. What would it take? Probably like half a cycle for us to get there?
Yeah, if we go alone.
What are you talking about?
None of your business, Taraji. Taraji dove momentarily to get closer to her brothers and then surfaced right in between them.
Conspiratorial. I like it, and I'm coming with.
They all looked back at Lipstick, who was still swimming away back to the shore. As she exits to the shore, she uses her long front legs to clean herself. The rest of the siblings, still in the water, looked at her for a while and smirked, and then looked back at each other. Taraji turned back to face her sister.
Why do you do that? You know that this is clean, right?
Without seizing her motions, Lipstick replied.
Oh, is it? Really? Do you see those big blob monsters over there? Yeah, they come in here every freaking morning so that they can expel themselves.
Kaleido laughed. Yeah, but the water just washes it away. You're way too...
To what? Say it! Come on, Kaleido. Like being too clean would ever be an insult to me. See you idiots later.
Kaleido began swimming towards the shore, but then stopped. Wait, Lipstick, you're not going to tell Mom, are you? She looked back at her brother.
What do you think?
We're not going to the mountain. We were just talking about it.
Yeah, and that's what leads to trouble. I will let Mom know of our little conversation today.
No! Come on. All the siblings in unison momentarily ducked themselves under the water as a sign of displeasure. We're not going. Cut it out, all right? We were just talking about it.
Oh, stop, Morgron. You had every intention of going. You know, next to Kaleido, I'm the youngest. I shouldn't have to be looking out for the group more than all of you are.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with being adventurous, cut in Taraji.
Yeah, there's never anything wrong with it until you die or something bad happens to your family. Goodbye.
With that, Lipstick ran off towards their lair. There was silence that overcame the remaining group. Morgron splashed the water in deep upset, and then dove. Taraji sighed and looked at Kaleido. No one wanted to say anything because they knew what was happening next. And then they heard the footfalls moments later. Children? Oh, great, they heard Morgron say under the water. He'd been under the water for quite some time, maybe about 20 minutes, trying to avoid the inevitable. Children?
Coming,
yes,
Mommy.
Mom. Their backs had been turned to the shore. When they turned around, their mother, large as life, was standing over the river. She was so much larger than them that next to the river, she made the river look non-existent. Her head was so massive, it seemed as though it could fit 40 of them inside of it. She looked pissed, her membrane sacs receding and inflating at a rapid pace. It was a clear indication of her anger. Lipstick had been sitting right by her mom, cleaning herself. The mother looked at the two of her children and then looked towards the water. Morgron, if you don't get to the shore right now, I will come in after you and you will not like it. A trail of bubbles was seen making its way to the shore very slowly. In place of them was the head of Morgron, his dark blue body following his head, which then faced his mother. The mother was silent for a while and looked at all of her children, then back at Lipsic. She faced her 3 children again, all of their heads lowered to the floor. Mama, before you,
You do not speak!
She clips at Morgron, who is trying to do damage control. Now, what is this I hear about you all planning to go to the Red Mountains after we've had this discussion at length? Care to explain? She looked at all 3 of them. Colorless wasn't sure, but he could have sworn Lipsic was chuckling or laughing. She was doing it under the guise of cleaning herself.
Mama,
interjected Taraji.
I think Lipsic only wanted us to get in trouble because,
Oh, so was she lying?
Well, no, I mean,
Children, come with me. Let's go back to the lair. As soon as it seemed as though the mother was out of earshot, Lipsic turned back to her siblings and smiled.
Y'all are gonna get an ass whooping. Why are you rejoicing? Because I told you, and this is what you get for not listening to me.
Colorless scowled at Lipsic. You're an asshole.
Colorless, what was that?
Morgron's mouth fell open.
How is it she can hear you?
When they all reached the lair, they were supposed to feel relaxed, but they didn't. This is where all the tension happened. The mother had squeezed herself through the opening and waited for her children to sit down in front of her. Lipsic took the liberty to sit beside her mother facing her siblings. The mother turned around and looked at Lipsic and just stared at her in silence. Morgron, Taraji, and Colorless all waited, looking at this interaction or exchange between the mother and Lipsic. Lipsic then looked back up at her mother, realizing that the mother had been staring at her this whole time. The look said, "What do you think you're doing here sitting beside me like my general?" Lipsic rolled her eyes, a behavior that usually would go punished, but for some reason the mother overlooked this time. She then went to join her brothers and sister. The mother wiped her face and sighed. She hated giving these lectures to her children. She loved them so much, but she had to be firm with them. So many Norwegians have lost their children to foolish things, mostly because the children were disobedient. There were dangers that the kids did not know of. Now, she herself didn't know what lay on the Red Mountain. All she knew is that whenever any creature went up there, they either came back in a bad way, or they didn't come back at all. Ever since she was little, she knew a lot of the scary tales were myths or just rumors, but she also had the knowledge that rumors are sometimes based on truth, and if most Norwegians were scared of the place, it was usually warranted. Do you kids think that I love you? The kids were silent for a while and then looked back up at their mother after looking at each other. They all answered yes. Why would you think I would tell you something, even if it makes you upset? Taraji raised her little skinny arm.
Oh, I know.
The mother, despite herself, had smiled at this. Yes, Taraji.
Because... Wait, what was the question?
Colorless rolled his eyes.
It's because it's something dangerous that you know could hurt us, and you don't want us to get hurt. You'd rather us be sad than be dead.
The mother cocked her head in approval. Well, Colorless, very good. I'm glad that you know this. So, having this knowledge after I've already had this conversation with you guys multiple times, why is it that you're conspiring to go to the Red Mountain, the one place every Norwegian has said not to go? Colorless made a motion to answer again, and as he started speaking, the mother cut him off. No, Colorless. Morgron, as the oldest of this group, and as the oldest male of this clutch, I would like you to answer. Morgron hated the spotlight on him. He hated it so much. And furthermore, he hated feeling like he was responsible for this. Well, to be fair, Mom, we didn't go. Word of the day, my children. Do you remember what conspiring means? You don't remember? Morgron hung his head in shame. I mean, I know what it means. I just don't know the definition of it. Morgron, if you know what something means, you should be able to explain it. I just want to know that you understand. I know what it means, though. Lipsick sighed in exasperation and answered,
It means to plot against something for a harmful end, or to make secret plans in unison with a group of people so that you could do something unlawful or harmful.
Yes, that's correct, Lipsick. And since I've told you not to go to the Red Mountain because people get harmed there, and you want to go directly against me, not only were you planning and putting yourself in danger, putting each other in danger, but putting me in danger as well. Because I love all of you very much. And if something happened to you, how do you think that would make me feel? Yeah, but nothing's was going to happen. Morgron, I will deflate that ego of yours. Answer the question and stop back-talking me. How do you think that would make me feel? Colorless reluctantly answered for the group. It would make you feel devastated. What about you, Taraji?
It would make you feel really sad.
Morgron? Morgron? It would make you feel, like they said, I mean, there's only like so many ways you can say it. The mother breathed in a measured tone. Morgron was the oldest, but he drove her the most insane. She really had to exercise her patience with him. Morgron, you are the biggest of this group. You are the oldest brother. The rest depend on you to protect them. And if I'm not around, I depend on you to protect them. You coming up with this idea directly puts everyone in danger. Mom, I know you're mad, but can I ask you a question? If we've never seen the Red Mountain for ourselves, and technically you've never seen it for yourself either, how can you know that anything anyone else says is true? That's all I wanted. I just wanted the truth. The truth is, trying to find it is what will put you in danger. And there's a 50% chance that you will die trying to get a truth that you don't need. But isn't it worth knowing instead of us always wondering whether it is? I'm not willing to take that risk if it means losing you. A blanket of silence and tension covered the atmosphere of the lair. Now, this is the last time I'm going to have this conversation. This is the last time I'm going to be telling you not to go to that place. So are we not allowed to talk about it either? Morgron, don't. I'm sorry, Mom, I love you, but you're being irrational and you're treating us like we're prisoners.
Morgron, stop.
No, because you know when Dad was around, he didn't tell us we couldn't talk about stuff or wonder. As a matter of fact, he encouraged us. You stop it this instant. Now you're telling us that we can't even talk about something of which we're curious. We're supposed to just shut up and blindly follow you because you say so.
Morgron, you need to shut up.
Before Morgron could say another word, and before his anger could rise any higher, his mother took one of her hands and placed it against his chest, and then pushed him to the floor and held him there. You may be right, Morgron, but as long as you are living in my lair, and as long as I have responsibility for you, you will do as I say. No one is dying under my watch. When you're old enough to take care of yourself, then you can do whatever the hell you want. But you are living here, so you will obey my rules. Is that understood? Furthermore, these are your little siblings. You will not put them in danger, or I will hold you accountable for that. Mom, you're hurting me. Do you understand? The air was heavy in the lair. Everyone waited for Morgron's response. He stopped fighting against his mother's hold and relaxed, relinquishing all of the control he had. He nodded slowly, but he resented his mother in that moment. He couldn't totally blame her for being a female and a mother at that, but he also couldn't understand why this was such a big-kept secret, and why everyone seemed to have an aversion to the truth. This, if anything, made him want to discover what was at the top of that red mountain even more. The nighttime announced its presence via the mellifluous songs of the nocturnal creatures. The offspring and Ouigians were being lulled to sleep by the sound of their mother entering her deep slumber. The only one sleeping in total isolation was Morgron, his dark blue surface shimmering in the twilight. Colorless looked over at his brother. Morgron was his favorite sibling. He was the only other male besides him. He looked back at his mother, and judging from her sounds, she was already fast asleep. Silently, he crawled over next to his brother, taking all the care in the world not to wake up the others. He could see in the light his brother's eyes glowing. Morgron wasn't sleeping. Colorless knew his brother very well. After what happened earlier, Morgron would hold a grudge for quite some time. He would literally lose sleep over an altercation, especially one where he's lectured or made to feel ashamed.
Hey, I know you're awake.
So, congratulations.
Look, I was thinking about what you said, and I believe you. I agree.
Look, Colorless, whatever you're doing, just stop, okay? I already got enough trouble as it is. It's over.
But what about the mountain? Mom seems afraid. Why are they so afraid to go up there? I mean, what if we could learn to protect our kind and keep people from dying if we could figure out what's up there?
Nothing is up there, Morgan said, shifting and turning his back towards his brother. Colorless rolled around to the other side, his white body a stark contrast to that of his older brother.
Morgan, we're very close. We're best friends, right?
Of course we are.
Then you should know that I know you very well, and I can feel you thinking. You're planning on going up there by yourself, right?
Well, Morgan looked up. His eyes seemed to have been glistening, at least that's what it seemed like to Colorless. They both looked back at the mother. Good, she was still fast asleep. Let's go outside, just in case.
Okay, all right.
Be quiet.
Okay, I will.
Colorless had a big smile on his face. His brother was ready to share. If anything, wherever Morgan was going or whatever he was planning, Colorless always wanted to be his shadow. The other offspring used to tease him about this, but Colorless took it to be the highest honor. He wanted to be just like his brother. Ever since their sire left to have his own harem, Morgan was the closest thing to a male figure that Colorless had. Well, in Anwegians, a male figure never stuck around for very long. After the offspring reached a certain age, the males would leave and find other fertile females to inseminate. Colorless and his siblings have never known a male to be as interactive with his offspring as their father was to them. Morgan and Colorless reached outside the lair. They both looked back inside gingerly to make sure they weren't being followed, and crawled around the back side of it. Morgan's face almost immediately transformed into that of excitement. You promised not to tell. Who are you talking to? When have I ever told on you, ever? And we even have secrets against our sisters. I don't want to get you in trouble, Colorless. I feel really bad about what happened earlier. I was trying to be tough.
But I agree with you. Totally. And it's up to us, right? It's not about that, okay? It's... What?
Morgan turned his back to his brother and used his hind legs to scratch an itch behind his ear. His membrane sacs were pulsating at a rapid rate.
Morgan? What's wrong?
I heard a rumor, Colorless. It may just be a rumor, but as Mom always says, some rumors stem from the truth. Right?
Okay.
Colorless tried to walk around to see his brother, but his brother kept his back towards him. Something upset him so much that he did not want Colorless to see his expression. This made Colorless afraid. I heard a rumor that, Dad didn't just leave to be with another heron. I heard a rumor that he went up to the Red Mountain. At least he was one of them.
What? When? Why? Who said that?
Doesn't matter who said it, Colorless. That's what I heard. Is that why you want to go up there? What if Dad was trying to do that? What if he was trying to protect us? We owe it to him to find out. This changed everything. Or did it? Colorless was confused. Their father wasn't afraid of anything, but if he went up there and he disappeared too,
none of this makes any sense. How does everyone just disappear when they go up there?
Exactly, thank you. What is that? Morgan's haunted gaze caught Colorless' attention. He was looking towards the mountain. Colorless followed his gaze and his mouth fell open, both of them standing rigid side by side. Near the summit of the mountain in the distance was a shimmering serpentine light. It bounced and danced in place. It then disappeared for only a few moments, only to come back brighter, weaving in and out of an invisible hole. The boys just stood there, gazing in wonder. It's as if their fears and misgivings were manifested in this strange alien light.
Boom! Gee, stop!
What was wrong with you?
It's not funny. What are you guys looking at?
They both faced the mountain again. The light was gone.
I don't know. Are you guys looking at the red mountain? You know we shouldn't, because Mom said...
Yeah, okay, look, we saw something up there.
You need to tell her. No, I'm not telling her. Come on. Morgron, she needs to know.
She can't keep her mouth shut. I'm not telling her.
Wait, now you have to tell me. You can't say something like that in front of me and then not tell me, or else I'm going to tell Mom that you're keeping secrets.
Both the brothers looked at their sister with glares. You would not.
Okay, you're right, I wouldn't. I'm not going to tell on you. I'm not going to be lipstick. But still, I won't tell, I promise. Please, can you tell me what it is?
Collider looked at Morgron. Don't. Dad went up to the Red Mountain.
Seriously, Kaleido? What do you mean?
He disappeared. That's why we haven't seen him. I mean, maybe that part about him going with the harem was true, but the rumors say that he was one of the ones that went up there and he was never seen again.
You mean Dad disappeared? Is this true, Morgron?
I don't know if it's true. That's why it's called a rumor. But yeah, I feel like some of it is true. Could be true. And we saw something up in the mountain just now.
What did you see?
A thing. I don't know. It was really weird.
Yeah, like some strange alien monster.
There was silence for a beat, and then Taraji looked at them both and then burst out laughing. They both put their hands over her mouth, trying to quiet her before she woke up anyone else.
Shut up. You're so dumb. Every time you try this game, it doesn't work anymore. I'm not a baby anymore, you know.
We're telling the truth. We're not trying to scare you, Taraji. Something was up there.
Look, look, look. There it is. Go, look quick. What?
They turned her head to face the mountain, and her eyes widened slowly. She saw it for herself, that shimmering, ethereal light on the top of the mountain. Her jaw hung in disbelief.
Oh my god. Wow, it's beautiful.
It's freaky, that's what it is. And I'm gonna find out what it is.
No, you can't go up there. What is that?
I don't know what it is. That's why we're gonna go find out.
What if that's the thing that's responsible for killing people?
As far as we know, everyone's just been disappearing. Nobody's really died. I mean, we don't know if the people that we did find dead actually died because of the mountain. Could have been something completely different.
Or maybe some monster up there. Are you guys seriously going?
You guys shouldn't come, but I'm gonna go.
But Mama said not to.
Listen, we have to find out what happened to Dad. What if they're being trapped up there? What if they go there and, I don't know, they fall under a piece of, Kaleido interjected.
Like an ice sheet. Remember? That's the only thing that we can't climb up on.
What if there's a big wall that they all fall over and they can't get out and they're stuck in there?
Really? An ice sheet?
It's totally plausible, Tara, and you know it. Morgron already headed towards the river. I'm coming with you.
I'm coming too.
No, you need to stay, Taraji.
Why? I mean, we're not supposed to be going, but Mama said that if we're going anywhere that's dangerous, or we have to be in a dangerous situation, it's best for us to be together than alone.
I don't want to be responsible for anything that happens to you guys.
You won't be responsible. We're big. We can defend ourselves. Or we can help each other.
Yeah, we're not going to let you go alone, Morgron, and that's final. Morgron sighed, but a part of him was happy they were coming.
Wait, what about Lipstick?
Morgron and Kaleido turned around to face their sister. She had to be kidding. Are you seriously asking if we should carry her along? The one that sold us out earlier because we were even talking about it or thinking about it?
Yeah, you have a point.
Come on, we gotta go before Mom wakes up.
Well, what if she wakes up and she finds out that we're gone and then she's sad?
Look, if you don't want to come, then you don't need to be here. If you're going to be wishy-washy, I would actually rather that you stay here. At least that way, Mom would have you and Lipstick if something happens to Kaleido and me. There was a long pause from their sister. Then she looked back up at them with resolution.
I'm coming with you guys. I won't be a baby, I promise.
All right then, let's go. As they headed for the river, Kaleido gave one look back into the dark entrance to the lair. He sighed, and then followed after his brother and sister. The eerie call made by unidentified animals struck fear into the siblings. Morgron had put on a good front for his brother and sister, but deep inside he was as terrified as they felt. Swimming down the river, sticking to the surface, they couldn't make out what was in the shadows, but they saw the very visible glowing eyes of some creatures lining either side of the bank. Even if they wanted to go ashore and walk for a while, they wouldn't take the chance.
scared, Colorless. Yeah, well, me too. What are those things, Morgan?
I have no idea. Honestly, I haven't been out this far. The river gets really wild down that next bend. We can swim down there, but it's going to take us away from the mountain. Whether we like it or not, we're going to have to go ashore at some point. This was what Colorless and Taraji did not want to hear.
What are we gonna do? Like, what if those things are waiting for us?
Morgan dove momentarily to moisten his head. Well, the only thing we can do is run as fast as we can.
Whoa, what is it? What?
Tara, what is it? What's wrong?
Something touched my feet. Something touched my feet under the water.
Sure it's not me?
No, it was behind me and it was under me. You're over on my left.
Morgan was in front of Taraji and Colorless. He looked back and then looked gingerly around below the surface. He ducked his head under the surface and tried to find if there was anything moving. He couldn't see anything. He couldn't hear anything because every noise in the river was too loud. He was trying to pinpoint an isolated noise, but there was none. He stuck his head back up at the surface. All right, well, there's nothing down there now.
I'm telling you, something touched me. Something touched me big. I felt it swim past me. It was bigger than me, and it was bigger than you. What if one of those things from the shore jumped in the water and is hunting us?
Well, that's possible.
Morgan?
Taraji wanted to turn back.
She had no idea why she decided to go on this foolhardy adventure, where she could have been in the safety of her lair under her mother's arm right now. She kept on going over in her mind how their mother would behave when she found out they were all gone. Taraji had heard her mom say to Lipsick and to Morgan at the end of the night that if they went up to the Red Mountain, she would not risk her life to go and save them. This was somehow meant to deter the offspring from going, but now here they were, right in the nip of danger. She felt like an idiot. Don't cry, Taraji, it's okay. What if we die out here? What if Mama was right? We're not even at the mountain yet.
Morgan couldn't blame his sister for being afraid. He was petrified as well. But the truth is, they were already out here. Listen, Taraji, I know you're afraid, and I'm sorry. You didn't have to come. I told you not to. Furthermore, if whatever touched your leg wanted to hurt you, it would have killed you a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe it's just waiting for the right moment.
I won't let anything happen to you. If it grabs you, I'll kill it. Understand?
Okay. You promise?
I'll kill it too. We'll kill it together. All three of us. Colorless smiled at his sister, a sort of plastic smile that seemed pasted on his face, but like it didn't actually belong there. After they were swimming for a few hours, they finally reached the shore. They had to cut off where the river was going because they had to make a straightaway for the base of the mountain. Now they only had to walk for about an hour or so before they reached there. And when they finally reached the base of the mountain, they were flabbergasted. It wasn't as big as they thought it would be. I mean, from afar away, the mountain looked huge, but that's because it actually wasn't that far away. With the weird light that the suns were giving off and the thickness of the atmosphere, it was just an illusion.
Do you see that light?
No, I don't see it. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but let's start climbing, Morgan said with uncertainty. All three of them began their climb. They did it with a fast pace to get up there as soon as they could. And when they were almost atop the mountain, they were at the ledge. Right in front of them lay a gigantic chasm that stretched as far to the left as they could see, and as far to the right as well. Well, said Colorless, this seems to be the end of our fun little adventure. Now we have to go back the way we came and go through all of that terror again. Or we could just wait here in the daytime until a light was suddenly cast on Colorless' face, which captivated all of the three siblings. They looked across the chasm and saw the bright, shimmering serpentine light that they saw glowing from their lair only hours ago.
Oh my god.
It emitted a garish tone, and it seemed to blare across the heavens, the noise so loud and clamorous that it bounced off of the thick clouds above. How do we get across there?
Why do you want to get across there?
I don't know.
Maybe that's what's making people disappear.
Guys, look. Cock your head to the left. Around here. Wait.
Be careful, Morgron, you might fall in.
Tara G looked down in the chasm, and there was nothing but darkness to greet her. She only imagined that the many who disappeared got lost down here. The noise pulsated. The air suddenly felt tangible, sticky, and weighty. Kaleido and Tara G followed where Morgron was directing them to look, and what they saw astounded them. The weird serpentine light was coiling around itself, and it wasn't just pulsating. Sections of it were seeping into an unknown fissure.
See? It looks like a whirlpool. But look, when it moves out of the way slightly. See that? What is that?
Kaleido's eyes widened.
It's impossible. I know, right? Are you seeing it, Taraji? It looks like another place, but that doesn't make any sense, because wouldn't it just be the inside of the mountain if there's a hole there?
Morgron leapt with excitement at his discovery. Well, wherever that place is or where it leads to is probably where everyone disappeared. Yeah, but then why wouldn't they come back? Asked Kaleido. Maybe they're stuck.
Well, there's no way for us to get over there, so we should go back home and tell Mom.
Morgron's face fell. You want us to go back home and tell Mom that we came all the way to Red Mountain?
Well, technically we're up here and we survived. Nothing bad happened to us. Maybe if we go back now, it will...
Wait, Kaleido, what are you doing? Kaleido chose not to answer. That's because he had been concentrating particularly hard. Morgron and Tara G looked on in horror and amazement as Kaleido placed one of his feet into the opening of the chasm and put his full weight on it, literally standing in thin air. He gingerly placed his other front leg beside his left one and watched as the movement slowly made them go up and down, only by small intervals and only by very shallow gradients, as though he was resting his feet on an invisible creature's chest as it breathed up and down.
How are you doing that?
Asked Morgron.
I don't know, but I think this is how you get across. Maybe you shouldn't, Kaleido. Something's not right.
Every one of the siblings whipped their head back towards the spiraling light. Kaleido looked at his brother. Now all 4 of his feet were hanging in thin air. Kaleido laughed. He was in a giddy mood, but 90% of that sensation was from the fear that he could fall down into the chasm at any moment. Whatever invisible thing was holding him up could give out. Morgron's palps vibrated rapidly in fear.
Kaleido, don't.
I'm gonna walk across.
Kaleido, no, please don't!
Kaleido, wait, let me do it. Morgron, I got this. Besides, if anything does happen, it's best that you stay and take care of Mom. You're the strongest. Kaleido got closer to the spiraling light. His sister and brother watched on in anticipation. Kaleido had told himself not to look down, but, against his better judgment, he looked down, only to witness that his legs were standing on the thin air, and below him was a mighty drop into the deep chasm. Its maw, a sea of darkness. Looking ahead of him, Kaleido realized that he was only a few feet in front of the spiraling light. He looked back at his brother and sister, ready to bid them farewell, with what he knew might be the last time he would see them. He smiled at them, but then his smile faltered when he saw that their faces looked different. They were jittery and a lot more frenetic than they were only moments ago. Before, during the whole time he was journeying across this invisible barrier that lay over the chasm, they looked on in consternation and silence, a sick tension gripping their insides. But now, they were jumping up and down excitedly. Their membrane sacs were vibrating at a ridiculous rate, which indicated to Kaleido that they were scared. He looked back ahead of him at the spiraling light. Nothing seemed to have changed. It was still emitting that noise. But there is one thing that made him nervous. He just realized that even though they were surely screaming, he couldn't hear them. He couldn't hear anything but the spiraling light. Suddenly, his brother, as a last resort it seemed, made his way to the edge and then began putting his feet onto the invisible barrier. Kaleido screamed out, "Morgron, no!" But his brother couldn't hear him either. Or at least he thought so. Either that or he didn't care what Kaleido said. All he knew was that his baby brother was in danger. But then why would he risk his life to walk out here? None of them understood how this air platform worked. and now Morgron was putting his life in danger. Terrigy was crying, still at the edge, waiting for them. As Morgron got closer, Colorless thought he could hear a little bit of what he was saying, but the volume was so low he had to strain. Colorless, stop. Stop, come back. Colorless narrowed his eyes, trying to concentrate. What? Morgron crawled and got closer to him, his blue skin shimmering in the light. Shimmering. Wait a minute, it wasn't shimmering before. And why would it be shimmering in the... It was dark when they got here. Colorless just realized that it didn't look dark anymore. Everything was bright. Colorless looked up to see if any of the suns had come into the way, but that wouldn't have made sense. When he looked up to see what was making the light, his mouth dropped open and he felt like he was going to fall out of the air. Right above his head, almost clipping him, was another huge, scintillating spiral light hole, even bigger than the one that was in front of him. He now heard it. He doesn't understand how he never heard it before. It's as if it, or the other portal, or the both of them, were canceling out noise. This thing was huge, and Colorless felt the fear coursing through his body. This is what Morgron and Terrigy had been trying to tell him. This thing just suddenly appeared, and it frightened him how it was able to do so as stealthily as it did. Colorless was done with his adventure. He wanted to go back. Morgron got closer to him, but Colorless was stopped. There was a barrier in front of him, an invisible one that he couldn't see. It was viscous, like the liquid they swim in, but even more so. He tried to squeeze his head in, but he couldn't get past. His shoulders couldn't get past. Morgron reached out his hand, and something horrible happened. As the spiral light got louder, the air below Colorless started to thin. Whatever he was standing on, however he was standing on it, he wouldn't be in a second. The good news is, he started being lifted up by the force that was pulling him through this bigger hole on top of him. The bad news was, Morgron apparently wasn't close enough. And as Colorless, to his horror, was being sucked through this huge spiral above his head, he watched the last image of his brother being one of total terror, as Morgron fell from out of the sky and into the chasm below. Colorless awoke on a bush of some sorts. Little things were crawling all over him and they itched. They were his body bacteria or his fleas. Where he comes from, fleas are beneficial. They more so keep Anwegians clean, but they never show their presence, not unless the Anwegian is sick or something upsets them. And after they've completed their feeding session, they move on to another Anwegian and start cleaning them together. The cleaners never stuck around for very long, and most of the time Anwegians don't even realize that they're on, but Colorless did. Because whatever was going on, they were frantic. Colorless stood up and realized that he was partly floating. Was he still on that air pocket thing? His memory came back, and he remembered Morgron. There must be a chance that he's still alive. Maybe it's all a bad dream. But Colorless feared the worst, that his brother was dead. He watched him fall, and he was nowhere near the edge. Terrigy had been screaming, and he couldn't even hear his sister's voice. But he realized he wasn't floating, because a very large animal passed by him. It was strange looking, very streamlined. It had no legs, just a huge tail with 2 divots in the back and what seemed like very small and flat arms near its head. Clover grabbed it and took a bite out of it. He felt something. It went throughout his body and made him feel quenched. He was in water, but it's no water that he's used to feeling. This water was like a medium between air and the water he was used to at home. It felt very odd, and at first he felt a little confused. Colorless was afraid, and something about this environment made him know that he was no longer home. He tried to dig his way to the bottom, but it was hard. There was bedrock at the bottom. Nothing was soft and pliable like what he was used to. There were times when Anwegians on his world had dug straight through their planet and out to the other side, based on what the adults said. but he couldn't do that now. He swam for many miles until he found a trench. He sat under that trench and rested and cried. Oh, how he missed his mother. He missed Lipsic and Terrigy and Morgron, and now he might never see them again. Is this what happened to the other Enwegians? He had no idea. But if this is where they went, then maybe he'd find them. But he remembered that there were 2 of these openings. They must be, because the spiraling lights showed other places inside of them that looked nothing like the world he came from, and it sucked him into it. So they must be a sort of cave entrance to another world. If there were 2, then there was a chance that he may be in a completely different one than that of his father or the other Enwegians. He only hoped that Terrigy wouldn't come in after him. He only hoped that she would make it home safe. Would she make it home safe? Together, nothing would pick on them. At least, they were least likely to be picked on by hunters. But if Terrigy was going back home on her own, that thing she talked about in the water might be a problem. No, he couldn't think like that. He had to think of the best. But then even if she was able to get back home and tell Lipsic and his mother what happened, his mother would be distraught. But she would try to protect the last children she had. She wouldn't risk her life to come all the way to the Red Mountain. Claudio had to face the facts that he was alone. It seems like Claudio had just gone to sleep when he was rudely awoken by a cacophonous explosion. He thought it was a volcano, and he was confused. Claudio was blinded by the light and by the intense heat. The intense heat felt good to him, but he knew that something was wrong. Something knew where he was. He had no idea what this world was like, and the only thing he could do was flee. He beat his legs until he reached the surface of this weird thin water, and he saw land. Strange land. No trees, just very large structures, like stones with glistening mineral rock on them that reflected the light of the... He looked into the air. There was a huge white ball in the sky, and he had no idea what that was. It didn't look like any of his suns. It just stood there, and he could actually look at it. But it wasn't even making its own light. It was glowing from some other light. All Claudio felt was fear and ultimate terror. He started swimming pell-mell towards the surface. When he reached, he was met with an onslaught of activity. Flying creatures, a host of tiny creatures that were like weird-looking bacteria, started descending on him. Maybe they were cleaners like the stuff he had on his body, but when a huge projectile hit him in the side of his face, he felt pain. That's when he knew he was being attacked. He ran with all his might, flailing his legs everywhere, trying to keep them at bay, crying out for his mother. No matter where he went, the flying things kept on throwing projectiles at him. He fell to the ground and cowered, and just lay there for a while, shivering, wishing, hoping that all of this would just be a dream and that it would go away. Even in this state, these things still attacked him ceaselessly. Mama! Mama, help me! I'm sorry I didn't listen. Help me, please! He cried out desperately, just hoping that there was a small percentage chance that his mother would hear him and come running like she always has. He had a flashback to when he was younger, much smaller, and a powerful iron back came at him, charging. It butt him in the side and almost broke his body. He cried out his same cry, and all he heard was the thundering feet of his mother as she leapt into the air right in front of him and roared the loudest he's ever heard her roar at this creature. It tried to fight her, but she gave it a piece of her mind. It never came back. As a matter of fact, she intimidated it so much that it drove all the other ironbacks out of the area. He remembers she had leant down to him and nudged him. "Claudio, are you all right, my love?" "Mom, What are you doing out here? I told you not to come this far.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Come here. It's all right. All he wanted right now was to feel his mother's arms secure him the way she did all those times she rescued him from something terrifying. But now he was on his own.
Hey, little guy. Hey.
What? He heard a little voice in his head. Another projectile hit him and he screamed out. Can you try your best not to scream in my frickin' ear? Who said that? You can't see me that well, but I'll crawl on your eyeball and I'll show you. All right, hold on. Sit back. It's okay. Relax. There's nothing over here. Just stay. I am staying. Not you, my friends. Just relax. All right, you see me? There was a little blur on his left eye. Can you see me? I don't know. You're too close. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna crawl down on your hand. All right. Not all the way, though, because it's frickin' far. Okay. As the thing crawled onto his arm, he looked down and recognized it. It was very small, but as he focused in on closer, he realized it was one of the cleaners. Hey, what's up? You see me now? You can talk? Okay, not all of us can talk, but you could be imagining this, but you can understand me, which is a good start. So, yeah, I guess we can... come to that conclusion. So, okay, here's the thing. You can talk? Yeah, I thought we established that. Oh my god. Colorless started freaking out. Something was certainly wrong and he couldn't understand what it is. Before he could get up or do anything rash, the cleaner got back his attention. Hey, little kid. Okay, listen. How are you talking? You guys can't talk. Maybe you never listened. Okay, here's a spiel, okay? We speak on a certain frequency that you probably can't hear, and when you decide to be an idiot and go through that thing, now you can hear that frequency, so now you can kind of understand. So why can't I understand the others? Look, I don't know. We don't know these things. The point of the matter is, we want to live, okay? How do we do that? Okay, we certainly don't do it by sitting here and continually get pummeled by these things. Because unlike you, like, we can die. Right now, we're doing okay. But what we need you to do is, we need to go home, right? Colorless was beside himself. These cleaners were a part of him, and they probably were on him from before. Cleaners aren't meant to stay on one region for very long. As a matter of fact, they can become quite abrasive and start actually feeding on the Edwegian himself instead of the gook on his body when they've run out of food. Can you guys help me? Well, we can try. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, but I gotta tell you, if we start to starve, we're gonna eat you. And I know you don't want that, because we'd rather not. We don't really like Edwegian meat. We like the stuff that grows on your meat, so... But we're kind of freaking out here. And I had to do something. I came through that spiral light thing. Yeah, it's a portal. Congratulations, those exist. You're not supposed to go through them unless you know what the hell you're doing. But you decided to go through one, and had no idea what the hell you were doing. Why didn't you stop me then? I was trying to, but you couldn't, look, okay. Listen, you want to go home? You have to find another one of those things. All right, so I can just go back to where I came from. They never open up in the same place. It's not how it works. Why not? Why wouldn't it still be there? What if it opens up again? It's not, trust me. How do you know so much about this? Just trust me, okay? We want to live. We both have something that we want, right? Colorless nodded. Part of him still couldn't believe he was talking to a freaking cleaner. The equivalent of a flea or a bacteria. So we have to work together, understand? Yeah. Now we need you to get up and go somewhere else first. Somewhere where you can hide. Everything is so small. Everything is... I know, but, you're gonna die if you sit here. So you need to keep moving. You can't stay in one place for too long, because if they surround you, you're gonna die. That's how we kill smaller things. So let's get up. Come on. Chop, chop. Let's move. He didn't care what was happening. He was just so glad he wasn't alone and he was being given some kind of direction. He always needed direction. Usually it was from his mother, and then later on from Morgron. He always needed someone to be there for him to tell him what to do. And that's what his problem was. Now he had someone. He started running. The projectiles followed him. The flying creatures, they buzzed over his head incessantly. But he didn't feel so bad now that he wasn't alone. Where do I go next? I don't know, but just a thought. Go where they're not. Maybe I should go back to the water. You can try to. But now you've wasted your time, so they're all lining that area. Colorless was running for quite some time until he realized he wasn't being followed. A huge figure appeared suddenly in front of him with its hand up in the air, holding something as though it was going to strike him. In fright, he attacked it and beat it to the side. Its head went flying somewhere else he couldn't see. There were lights all around him, and some of them went dark. Colorless knelt down close to the ground.
I think we lost them.
Okay, cool. I feel so much better. Take it easy, guys. It's okay. We're working on that right now.
Can they talk too?
I just said before that they couldn't. Listen, kid. You're an idiot. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. Number 2. You're going to have to listen to me if you want to survive. You understand? Because chances are, if we stay here, we will die. There is no way out of here. Have you ever been here before? He asked hopefully. What the hell kind of question is that? It asked. What's your name, kid?
Colorless.
What's yours? My name's Denby.
Demi?
No, Denby. Like that.
It's nice to meet you, Denby.
It's not really nice to meet you, kid. If we die, it's your fault. And the rest of my family will eat your family.
I'm sorry. I think my brother... I think my brother's dead.
Kid, I don't give a damn. Colorless was shocked at this and looked back at Denby. He couldn't really see her, but he knew she was somewhere behind his neck. His heart broke at these words. You need to keep walking.
Right here, safe right now.
You need to keep walking. They will find you.
Why should I bother if they'll find me anyway?
What is your deal? You just told me that you don't care that my brother's dead. Why should I? He ain't my brother. And I'm sorry, but he's already dead. His troubles are over. Why should I be sad about that? Makes no freaking sense, you creatures and your dumb emotion. Right now, you crying over him is doing nothing for your survival. So you need to keep walking.
I don't even know where to go.
See there, that light on the horizon?
Yeah?
It is possible that there's another portal over there. I'm not sure because I don't know about this world, but it may work that way. If you can get over there or farther away from the point of origin, then you might be able to find another entrance.
Really?
Colorless said with glee. Yeah, the bad news is you might be waiting a while before you do it. So go there as far as you can, but then as you get closer, try to find someplace safe that you can be, so that if we have to wait, we wait. Colorless felt hopeful with what Denby said, but at the same time, he was surely disheartened. If he could wait for a while before seeing his family, what if he went back and he had no family? Kid, we gotta move. Colorless made the decision. He got up and started running straight for the horizon. He ran for what seemed like a while, and after some time, those horrible hostiles caught up to him, but he fought his way through. Through Denby's guidance and instruction, they worked together as she ordered him what to do, and he fought until he felt powerful. He was beating all of them, and they were falling before him. He was happy. He had a chance to live until things got worse. The hostiles that had been attacking him before were barely anything. They brought in reinforcements, and the projectiles, or the things that they were using to attack him, hurt so much more than the ones before did.
Debbie, I can't.
Listen, kid, listen. You can't stay here and fight these ones. You have to keep running. You have to keep moving.
But they're everywhere.
Denby was frustrated and annoyed as the young Colorless began crying uncontrollably, swatting at nothing but air. She thought for a second. She had to play on his emotions to get what she wanted out of him. If he died, well, there was a huge chance that they would die as well. Her kind needed hosts to feast on to keep them alive. She remembered his brother. Hey, Colorless. Colorless cried, and she tried to cut through all the noise. Colorless, hey, Cal.
Yeah?
What was your brother's name, the one that's dead?
His name was Morgron. Ow!
Look, focus on me. Don't focus on the pain. Keep moving. Keep running. Run past the pain. Just don't stand in one spot. Keep moving.
Okay.
Okay, all right. His name was Morgron?
Yeah.
What did you like about Morgron? Was he your big brother?
Yeah.
What would he do in this situation right now?
He would kill them all.
Then that's what you have to do. You want your brother to be proud of you? You want his death to have meant nothing? Then fight. Fight these things, push through the pain, and keep running. You want to do right by your brother? Then you need to go home. You need to find your family. But to do that, you have to be alive. And you have to do what I say. You understand? Colorless felt something well up within him. It was determination and willpower. And he pushed through, screaming all the way as he ran, no matter how hard they attacked. No matter how hurt he felt. At one point in time, they tried to capture him, and there was a rapid, merciless attack and onslaught of these projectiles. At that time, Denby knew she had to do something, and she ordered half of her platoon to disembark from Colorless and attack. Listen, all of you. I know that everyone wants to live, but I know you also have families. If you want them to live, you're going to have to give us a fighting chance. Those things that are down there, you need to get off and distract some of them or something. Can you do that? Colorless looked back as he was running.
What did they say?
Hold on, give them time to answer. I mean, we're asking them to kill themselves. The cleaners all hung their heads. They knew what they had to do, but no cleaner ever wants to give their life. As a matter of fact, it's not really heard of. The only time a cleaner will sacrifice its life willingly is if one is already old and dying, and will ask to be put out of its misery while feeding the rest of its family. That way, they live on. But now, their leader Denby was asking them to just outright sacrifice themselves to these things below, just so the others could have a fighting chance. I know this is hard for you guys, and I can't do it because I'm more important than all of you, okay? Someone has to tell everyone else what to do. Sorry. But again, your family lives on. Make the choice, but make it quickly. Denby waited as a select few of them started to stand up and line up in front of her. A mighty projectile hit Colorless, and 6 of them flew off into the nethers. The rest of them took that to mean they were jumping off on their own and followed suit. All right, I got them to disembark.
Really? Are they gonna be okay?
I don't know, and honestly, to be honest, I don't really care. That's less food that we have to worry about being wasted right now, and with you being our only source of food, it's actually better that half of them leave. All right, let's keep going. We wish them the best. Colorless couldn't understand how Denby could be so cold against her own kind, but he understood also that she wanted to preserve her life as much as possible. Everything was working, and they were getting closer to the horizon. After a while, Colorless realized that the hostiles were falling back and no longer attacking. It took hours and hours, and it was endless. And then, there was no more. As a matter of fact, the flying things that were pursuing him left, and the hostiles also retreated and they just stopped attacking. Colorless was now alone. Peaceful. He looked up, and he realized that there was a sun.
Look, Denby. There's a sun here. It's now the daytime. We reached the horizon.
Yeah, kid. We did it. Now we gotta find the entrance.
Where is it?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the portal jumper. All right, now we can get out of here and just be somewhere else.
And go back home? How will I know which one leads to home? How do I control it?
Denby sighed.
Denby, what's wrong?
Kid, I gotta be square with you. I mean, I had to say it so that, we could survive. There's a big chance you might not ever see your family again. You might not ever see your home again. Colorless stopped and tried to shake her off, but that didn't work. Kid, what are you doing? We're biologically designed to hang on to you. Unless, of course, we're trying not to, but, I'm sorry you're upset.
You mean to tell me that all this time you lied to me, that I may never see my mom again?
Listen, you're the one that jumped through the portal. I didn't do that. No one told you to do that. That was you, dude.
But I want my mother. The whole reason I did this is so I could go home.
Okay, and I'm telling you we can get out of here, but it just might not be. I mean, we could still probably find your home. It's just that there's a fat chance of that happening.
Denby, you lied to me.
And you jumped through a mother freaking portal on your own. What did you think was going to happen? That's nobody's fault but yours. The both of them were quiet for a while. Colorless just stood in the grass, contemplating what his next move was. What was the point in any of this and surviving if he could never be home again? He had Demby, but she'd probably just jump ship the minute they go somewhere else. He looked down in sadness and saw something on the ground. It was moving. It was one of those things. He looked closer to try and investigate what it was. Yes, he confirmed it. It was one of those things. It wasn't harming him, it was just looking up at him. Suddenly, all the rage he felt from being separated from his family, from Denby lying to him, from being attacked endlessly since he's gotten here, boiled over, and he grabbed onto the creature and took it into the air, biting it clean in half. Jesus Christ, somebody has anger management issues.
I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Don't say that, because, I care. I want to live.
Denby, there's nowhere to go. Look around you. There's no portal.
We just have to keep looking. And if there's none that opens up right now, we just have to wait. That's all there is to it.
Are you telling me the truth?
About what?
Is there even a portal?
Colorless tried to look back, but his head didn't spin that far. Half of the time, he couldn't even see Denby. Right now, if she was in his view, he probably would bite her in half too. But she was so small and insignificant, it probably wouldn't even matter. Look, kid, I don't want to die. But yes, there is a chance that maybe there won't ever be a portal here. And you just have to make this your home. It sucks. But hey, this is a big world, right? They usually are, so there are other places you could go.
I don't want to go to other places. I want to go home.
Okay, well, I can't control that, and neither can you, so why is bitching about it going to help right now?
Because I want to see my mom. I want everything to go back to the way it was. And my sister. This whole time I hated lip-sync and she was trying to protect us and we just didn't listen. And now Morgan is gone. It's my fault.
Do you hear that?
Debbie, are you listening to me?
Jesus, I just don't care. Yes, I heard you. Okay, you're boo-hoo, whatever. Do you hear that?
Hear what?
Colorless and Denby listened closely. They heard a weird noise, like an air chamber. Colorless looked up into the sky, and he saw a second sun. Wait a minute. He only saw one sun a minute ago, and there wasn't any indication of a... It was spiraling. His eyes widened. He had a smile on his face. Suddenly, he realized it was a portal. It was a portal in the air.
Oh, Debbie, look. Debbie, it's a portal. It's a portal. It's a portal. We can go home.
Yeah, you have wings?
I don't know how we're going to get up there, but that's not the point. There's a portal.
And it's in the freaking sky.
But there's a portal, Denby.
Okay.
This is great news. There's a chance. You're right. There's a chance that we can go home, though. There's a chance. There's a chance that we can get out of here.
Colorless danced around excitedly. He wanted nothing more than to go home. Even with what Denby said, in his mind there was still a chance he could go back home. He didn't know how the portals work, and neither did Denby. For all he knew, the portal registered their body identity and put them back where they belonged. But part of him had that dark thought. If that was the case, why didn't it happen with the other Norwegians? Why is it none of them came home? He couldn't think like that.
Denby, thank you so much for helping me.
Yeah, whatever, kid. I didn't do it for you.
I know. But thank you anyway.
I keep hearing that noise.
Yeah, it's the portal. They make these weird noises.
No. Because that noise is still going on, and the portal's not what's making it. It's coming from over there. Maybe Denby forgot that Colorless couldn't see her. As he looked to his left and tried to strain to see where she was on his body, he detected her. Near his backside, where he could see her clearly pointing at something on the other side of the sky. It was coming towards him. And it wasn't coming from the portal. As it got closer, the noise got louder. The air pressure became more heavy. He looked up at the portal, and he looked back at the thing. It was eerie. He heard Denby sigh.
Don't worry, Denby, we just got to go to the portal.
We can go home. Demby uttered a sarcastic chuckle. Oh my god, am I not the most frickin' luckiest cleaner in the whole world? Well, kid, it's been nice knowing you. What are you talking about? God damn it, Demby uttered. When Colorless looked back up to the portal and smiled, he looked to the right one last time. The last time he would ever look at anything, before his body was broken to bits. At the lair, the mother and Norwegian paced frantically, awaiting her offspring to return. Lippi was awake, waiting by her side, worried as well. And in the distance, they saw a small body swimming up the river. The mother narrowed her eyes in hope. It was Terigi. Oh, Tara! Oh! The mother ran to get her baby out of the water. Tara! She grabbed her up and nuzzled her fiercely with her face. Where are they? Where are the others? All Tara could do was cry. She put her down. Lippi ran and hugged her sister. Why did you go? Why did you do that? I'm sorry. It's okay, come here. Lippi held Terigi tightly. She loved her brothers and her sister so much. But now, she knew something was wrong. Did you guys go to the Red Mountain? Yes. Yeah, we went. I'm so sorry, Mommy. The mother nodded her head, trying hard not to cry. She couldn't be mad with Terigi, but she nodded and just kept nodding frantically because she was afraid of what was going to happen next, what she was going to hear next. Okay. It's okay, baby. Where are your brothers? They're gone. What do you mean they're gone? Where are they? I don't know. Tara. The mother leaned down so she could be face to face with her crying daughter. Lippi walked away and was crying now herself. Where are your brothers, Tara? Colorless saw this light, we all saw it, and he tried to go, he tried to go through it, and Morgan went to save him, and Morgan fell into the chasm on the mountain, and Colorless, come on, he got stuck through the hole in the mountain. The mother and Norwegian bit her lip. She leaned up and looked into the sky. How do you know they're gone, Tara? I saw them, Mommy. I saw them. I'm so sorry, Mommy. Oh, my babies. Mommy, don't cry. Please don't cry, Mommy. I'm sorry. Sobbing uncontrollably, the mother and Norwegian walked away from her daughters. Lippi just sat, motionless, crying. Terigi followed after her mother, trying to console her. But nothing could. Nothing would. Terigi went over to her sister Lippi and held her. Lippi was younger than Terigi, but always acted like she was the older sister. She was always the one that came up with the good ideas and the adventures. But now, sitting there, completely distraught, she looked so much smaller. Terigi wished there was something she could do. They heard in the distance that their mother had stopped walking. They both looked up, and the mother was looking in the air. She had stopped sobbing, and something had caught her attention. Lippi and Terigi followed her gaze. There was a huge explosion in the sky, and a bright light shone from out of it. A third sun. The daughters ran between their mother's legs. Her strides were so huge that the daughters had to run for about 3 minutes just to catch up to her. Mom, what is that? Asked Lippi. I don't know. They all screamed as another bright explosion to their right happened in the sky afar off. And all around in the sky, they watched as hundreds of little suns were being born. Taraji looked deeply into one of them and saw another world. There was another explosion ridiculously close to them. They all jumped and whipped their heads to the left. One was right over the river, and it began sucking up all the water and the rocks below. Taraji watched in horror as she realized what was happening. They were spiraling lights that were opening up all over their world. And then there was another mighty explosion, louder than anything they've heard before. It almost killed their ears. It was in the middle of the sky, and Taraji, her sister and mother watched in total horror as this spiraling light, bigger than all the others, started lifting everything on their land into the air. Ironbacks, other Enwegians, trees, bodies of water, lava, and even mountains. This one wobbled and shimmered the more that it ate. As a matter of fact, it was so powerful that it even swallowed another portal that was right next to it. 2 others opened up on the Red Mountain. Taraji was the only one who had been looking in that direction when they did. And she watched in dismay as the both of them destroyed the Red Mountain. She cried frantically and screamed, because in her mind, if that's where her brothers disappeared, and now these things were tearing it apart, each of them taking their own half respectively of this region, she knew that for certain there was never going to be any chance that she'd ever see her brothers again. The mother Enwegian crouched to protect her daughters, and they all closed their eyes, screaming together, hoping that they could ride this through. They think they can make the best of it and hopefully survive. That is, until they feel a slight pull and feel the unsettling sensation of their bodies slowly being lifted off the ground.